The Alchemist's Playbook. Transforming Pain, Patterns, and Self-Sabotage into Prosperity. By the Starchitect. Dedication. For everyone who has ever felt broken, lost, or trapped inside their own patterns, this is for you. The ones turning your wounds into wisdom and your pain into power. Author's note. I wrote this book because I lived many years thinking that pain was a problem to fix, hide, or outrun. What I eventually learned is that pain is not a punishment. It is a portal. Every breakthrough I've ever experienced came from recognizing the patterns inside me, not the circumstances around me. This book distills what I've learned on the path of psychological healing, spiritual awakening, and personal mastery, without romanticizing suffering or glorifying struggle. My goal is simple: to give you a clear, grounded blueprint for transforming your internal world so your external reality can rise to meet it. Introduction. The moment. Everything changes. Transformation doesn't begin with clarity. It begins with discomfort. There comes a moment when the weight of repeating the same cycles becomes heavier than the fear of change. In that moment, you realize your life cannot continue at the same frequency because you are no longer the same. This book is about that moment and everything that follows. Alchemy, at its core, is the art of transmutation. The ancient alchemists tried to turn base metals into gold. Modern alchemy is different. It's about turning emotional residue into wisdom, shame into strength, and sabotage into self-command. The world teaches us to chase achievements, status, validation, or stability. But the deeper work, the inner engineering, is what actually creates a prosperous, meaningful, aligned life. Prosperity isn't just a financial state, it's a frequency, and this book is your blueprint for embodying it. Chapter 1. Pain as a portal. Pain reveals what we've suppressed, avoided, or normalized. It exposes the gap between who we are and who we're becoming. Most people treat pain as a sign of failure, but I've learned it's actually a sign of awakening. Pain is permission, an invitation to evolve. When something hurts, it's not because you're weak. It's because your internal system is signaling misalignment. Pain is feedback. It speaks the truth you were too busy, too afraid, or too conditioned to hear. The moment you stop fighting pain and start listening to it, it transforms. The question is not, why am I hurting? The real question is, what is this pain trying to teach me? Every breakthrough begins with that level of honesty. Chapter 2. The patterns that shape you. Patterns are predictable, and so are the results they create. Most of what we call bad luck, failure, or being stuck is simply an unconscious pattern running our life. Patterns form from repetition, emotional imprinting, environment, coping mechanisms, identity beliefs. Once a pattern is repeated enough times, the mind begins running it automatically, not because it's healthy, but because it's familiar. The brain prefers familiarity over freedom. Understanding your patterns is the first layer of liberation. Changing them is the second. Becoming the architect of your own patterns is the third. Chapter 3. The truth about self-sabotage. Self-sabotage is not a flaw, it's a strategy, a protective one. People sabotage when success feels unsafe, visibility triggers old wounds, love feels undeserved, change activates fear, their identity is out of alignment with their goals. Every time I've sabotaged myself, it was because a part of me believed I wasn't ready, capable, worthy, or safe to expand. The key is not to shame the part of you that sabotages, but to understand what it's protecting you from. Self-sabotage dissolves when safety is restored. Chapter 4. Emotional residue. What you're still carrying. Emotions don't disappear. They store themselves in the body, in the nervous system, and in the identity. I used to think I could think my way out of emotional pain, but unprocessed emotions don't vanish. They recycle. Emotional residue shows up as irritation, numbness, fear of connection, self-doubt, overthinking, avoidance, shame loops. Residue alters perception. It makes you interpret neutral situations as threats. It distorts your self-worth. It binds you to the past energetically. Cleaning emotional residue doesn't require perfection, just awareness and willingness to release what no longer reflects who you're becoming. Chapter 5. The Shift Moment. There is a moment, sometimes dramatic, sometimes subtle, where something inside you snaps into clarity. The shift moment often looks like, I can't keep living like this. This pattern ends with me. The old way no longer fits. I'm done abandoning myself. The shift moment is the psychological breaking point where your old identity loses its authority. You don't fix your life at once. You reclaim your power one decision at a time. This moment is sacred. It is the birth of the person you were always meant to become. Chapter 6. Choosing New Meaning. Painful events don't define you. The meaning you attach to them does. Meaning is the lens through which reality becomes empowering or disempowering. You can assign meaning consciously or unconsciously. Most people choose unconsciously. When I stopped asking, why did this happen to me? And started asking, what meaning do I choose now? My entire life shifted. Meaning is choice. Choice is power. Power is creation. Chapter 7. Rewiring Your Beliefs. Beliefs are mental blueprints. If your beliefs contradict your desires lose every time. Limiting beliefs often sound like, I always mess things up. People like me don't succeed. I'm not enough. I don't deserve happiness. Things never work out for me. Rewiring beliefs requires repetition, emotion, and identity-level reinforcement. You don't fight old beliefs. You replace them by embodying a higher truth long enough for the mind to accept it as your new normal. Transformation becomes inevitable the moment your identity begins to shift. Chapter 8. Healing the Invisible Wounds. Not all wounds bleed. Some hide in your tone, your trust issues, your attachment style, your expectations, your defenses, and your silence. Invisible wounds influence how you love, how you lead, what you tolerate, how you respond to stress, how you receive abundance. The healing process is often uncomfortable because it requires confronting the parts of you you've avoided. But healing is not about reliving the past. It's about releasing the power the past still holds. You don't heal because the past changes. You heal because your relationship to it does. Chapter 9. Building Empowered Patterns. Empowerment is not motivation. It's structure. You rise to the level of your patterns, not your potential. Empowered patterns look like clear boundaries, self-honoring decisions, consistent action, respect for your energy, emotional maturity, disciplined choices, intentional environments. When you install empowered patterns, you stop relying on willpower. You become reliable to yourself. That's when prosperity becomes predictable. Chapter 10. Emotional Regulation for Creators. Your emotional state is the foundation of every decision you make. Regulation is not suppression. It's the ability to stay grounded when life activates your nervous system. Regulation allows you to respond rather than react, stay aligned under pressure, think clearly, maintain momentum, access your intuition, lead yourself with stability. Emotional stability amplifies creativity, clarity, and self-trust. A regulated mind produces a regulated life. Chapter 11. The Prosperity Frequency. Prosperity is a frequency of self-worth, expansion, alignment, openness, disciplined action, embodied confidence, clean energy. You cannot create abundance from a state of fear, constriction, or self-doubt. Prosperity begins internally. It begins with believing you are a match for what you desire. When your identity aligns with prosperity, your behavior naturally follows. Chapter 12. Alchemy in Action. Turning healing into value. Healing is not the end, it's the beginning. Once you've transformed your patterns, your energy becomes the source of your impact. Value is created when your clarity helps others. Your growth becomes your contribution. Your wisdom elevates your choices. Your authenticity inspires connection. Your healed self becomes a force for good. Prosperity flows from identity, energy, and behavior aligned with your highest expression. That is alchemy. That is the playbook. That is the path. Closing message. You are the alchemist. There is no moment where you become finished. There is only deeper alignment, greater clarity, and higher levels of expression. Your pain was never your prison. It was your initiation. You are not broken. You are being rebuilt, consciously, intentionally, powerfully. You are the architect of your identity, the alchemist of your patterns, and the creator of your prosperity. Your life is not happening to you. It is being shaped by you, and this is only the beginning.